He reduced me to a few microns, and, joined with him, I compenetrated the rose. My size and weight were no obstacle, and I won't surprise you because I already told you that matter is incredibly porous and compressible. It is nearly all space. Besides, the blessed little gods, by analogous participation with the Most High, are not subject to natural terrestrial laws. We dominate the complex of matter, energy, space time, created eternity, and the sixth dimension. I don't understand how this compenetration happened, she said. You already know that my thought is not so profound. But yes, I appreciated the joy of the rose, manifested at its own natural level and in accordance with the planet's biology, upon being compenetrated by us, and above all by the Most High, gloriously united to the angel and me. You have no idea of the pleasures you will produce in heaven when you lovingly penetrate with the biologic organism the Lord has assigned you. Incredible! You will practice it, she stated. I understand the reason for the rose's corolla, fragrance, and beautiful color. It was the nuptial bedroom where fecundity was anxiously awaited, which, for that rose, signified the greatest natural happiness. With great jubilation, it recognized our presence in its interior and responded with all its natural love to the love it received. But what did you and the rose feel? We all enjoyed pleasures unknown to you. I couldn't explain it to you any more than I could explain what the color white means to someone blind from birth. I cannot even explain it analogously, because if I said that the color white is like the snow on volcanoes, the blind man would infer that white is cold as the snow. I can't wait until I get to heaven if I get there. Be very patient. Do your best as a Christian and trust the Lord. Let's go back to the rose. It communicated to me its instinctive energies. I enjoyed with it the pleasure of the male gamete as it penetrated the stigma and stylus, and as it produced its pollen tube in its search for the ovule. I participated and increased its biological orgasm. When the sought fertilization occurred, I tenderly kissed the egg as it started to reproduce. The angel, in his spiritual way, also caressed it. I understood that the rose knew, in its natural way, the new happiness it was receiving. It tried to keep us. It rapidly reinforced the membranes of its ovary, closed its petals, and increased its perfume. In this way, our God gave it the greatest happiness to which a rose can aspire. I was very moved and very happy for this new delight, and I gave thanks to our Lord, while the angel spiritually caressed me, and I reciprocated. How can a vegetable acquire knowledge? In the same way, a root knows where there is water and goes toward it. Every real being is capable of knowledge and love. Remember that living matter has the property of irritability, which permits it to receive and recognize environmental stimuli and in some way to react and love them. So you are saying that the corolla is not the only receptacle of fecundity. It is also the aspiration of the vegetable to have an intimate multiple embrace of love that will be fruitful by the blessed and with other beings which in the same way will enjoy it. It is fantastic, tenderly loved, without a doubt. However, I see you're thinking about repugnance in imagining loving compenetrations with living beings, which on earth are considered repulsive. It is hard for you to reflect with love on your brother centipede, your sister tarantula, and your brother worm. This is because your psychological understanding of repugnance is very shallow. No, there are things which, by their nature, are repulsive. You will see that it is not like that. Disgust which is not exaggerated is advisable and even necessary in this world. It keeps us away from danger. A bad odor, for example, keeps you from infectious or toxic places. Many insects, disgusting to humans, are bothersome because of their bite or because they transmit pathogenic microbes. The soul knows all this and transmits this knowledge to consciousness with repugnant sensations. After hearing all this, I imagine there ought to be some repulsion in heaven. No, there is none. You are going to see it. For now observe that certain disgusting things, poorly understood and controlled, hinder us from completing many Christian duties. The poor, for example, often smell bad. Some tidy Christians, for this reason, do not approach them. They prefer to give charity to the poor, sick, and elderly by means of intermediaries who do not always faithfully carry out the intentions of the donor. In heaven, to the contrary, repugnance does not exist. No being causes the slightest aggravation in eternal glory. Not even does the aversion to sin exist in the blessedness, because moral evil is unknown. But a loving compenetration with a scorpion? When you have advanced on the road of Christian perfection in the conquest of bad earthly habits, and you see your new name, you will gladly accept heavenly compenetration with sister rattlesnake, or with brother baculus leprosy. In this world, love already inhibits disgust. A loving mother, for example, does not feel repulsion for her son, no matter how dirty he is. How well lovers know that love is demonstrated when disgust fades. You will realize that the most joyful interrelations in heaven are based in this stupendous universal love. How well was this known by Saint Francis of Assisi in his most Christian life of poverty, she commented. He realized that all created beings are brothers, created by the same and only celestial Father. How much spiritual peace and perfect joy you will obtain if you learn to truly esteem in a Christian way brother sun, brother wolf, sister deer, and sister flower. It will be a fruitful training to acquire heavenly customs while still on earth. But the least repugnance in this does not exist in eternal glory, I insisted. Of course not. The blessed could not feel aversion in loving compenetration with what God had no repugnance in creating. Realize that repugnance in this life is often related to inadequate child rearing. If a mother, for example, doesn't like a particular food, it is almost certain that the unjustified aversion will be continued by the children. Each region generally has its own customs, which are initially repugnant to strangers, such as are worm fritters or pasta with garlic and oil, well liked by Spaniards.